Antifa. You can't disavow BLM, despite the fact that both promote violence, because Joe Biden benefits from Antifa and BLM. Let's stop lying about it. That's what's happening. At a Catholic Mass on Sunday in New York City, the pastor, a man called Kenneth Bowler, asked attendees to join him in a new kind of catechism, one for racial justice. He led a prayer denouncing white privilege. Now, the service was live streamed. There were images of George Floyd and other holy people. Watch.
Do you affirm that white privilege is unfair and harmful to those who have it and to those who do not? Yes. Do you affirm that white privilege and the culture of white supremacy must be dismantled wherever it is present? Yes. Will you strive to understand more deeply the injustice and suffering white privilege and white supremacy cause? Yes. Will you strive to eliminate racial prejudice from your thoughts and actions so that you can better promote the racial justice efforts of our church? Yes.
Wow. That's 2020 in 20 seconds. This is a religion. The left has won. For years, they have tried to replace God with political orthodoxy, and now they've succeeded. This has been their goal. They've said it repeatedly. Watch.
It's really sad. We have to be very prayerful. I pray for the president all the time, but I also pray that God will illuminate him to see right from wrong. It's very problematic.
And so God does not expect you to vote for people who will ultimately hurt you and other humans around you.
It's also important that we stop seeing religion used as a kind of cudgel, as if God belonged to a political party. And if he did, I can't imagine it would be the one that sent the current president into the White House.
Jesus himself is on Joe Biden's side. Remember when they used to attack Jerry Falwell for saying stuff like that? And Falwell, if he ever said it, shouldn't have said it, because it's wrong to pretend God is on the side of a political party. They're not ashamed to do it themselves, that's for sure. Eric Metaxas is a best-selling author, thought a lot about these questions. He's written a new book, Donald and the Fake News. Eric Metaxas joins us tonight. Eric, thanks so much for coming on. The video of the Catholic Mass in which the Nicene Creed has been replaced by talking points from BLM really should make us think.
Well, it's stroking violence, if I can coin a phrase. I'll be honest with you, if they had a swastika on the altar, it would be no different. Christians have always been at the forefront of fighting racism and slavery. There is no question about that. And we need to understand that the civil rights movement in this country and the abolition movement in Europe and in this country was led by Christians. What we're seeing here is something else entirely. The people who are using these new terms, systemic racism or white privilege, these are Marxists. These people not only don't believe in God, they hate God, and on the website, the BLM website, they reject just about everything a Christian would say. So what they are doing now, it's a power play. They want to hollow out the church from the inside because the real church is their enemy. This kind of a church that will do this kind of nonsense, of course, is perfect for them. But we saw this, unfortunately. I wrote a book about Bonhoeffer being a Christian in the 30s, seeing the Nazis do this. In other words, they didn't come and say, hey, we want you to worship the devil. Hey, we're atheists. Hey, we don't believe in God. They would come in and they would effectively co-opt the churches, but force the churches to play along just enough so that slowly they could confuse people and take over. And what we're seeing right now is exactly that. When you're using these kinds of terms, I want to say to every pastor, every Christian in America, this is something, if you do not reject this with everything you have, you are bringing about the death of Christian faith in America, which, by the way, is the only hope for people who think racism is wrong. It is only the Bible that says we're made in God's image. Ask Marxists if they believe in God's image. Ask, what did Karl Marx say about racists? He was a vicious racist, Karl Marx. So Marxists are just doing this to get power. They have no values. They couldn't care less about whether we're made in God's image. They don't believe in it. But they are using pastors like this and churches like this. And listen, there are many good Christians and good pastors who are going along with this, thinking they're doing a good thing. I want to say to them, you're riding on the back of a tiger. That tiger will eat you. That tiger hates you and is using you right now. This is a warning to every American. That is what's going on. I write about it in my Bonhoeffer book, and I've talked about it, but it is absolutely chilling. That video and what I read in the article, absolutely chilling. They are taking over churches. Don't let it happen to your church.
Our only hope is the knowledge that God created us all equal. All equal. We all have equal value, period. All lives matter. That's the Christian message. Eric Metaxas, thank you.
Thank you.